Good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office on this Wednesday morning. It's now, the 14th day of May, 2025. This is the morning briefing. Looking out the window of the home weather office, it is a beautiful morning. Temperatures about average for this time of year, generally in the 50s. And temperatures today will run warmer than yesterday, with temperatures in the valley probably reaching the upper 70s and low 80s. And we will continue to see a bit of a warming trend over the next couple of days before we see another change over the course of the weekend. Now, some of you over the last couple of days have noticed that I've got a picture back here, and actually it's there because I've got so much clutter in the rest of the house because construction is going on. But also, that is a picture of Firefall that I took back in February. It's a metal print 30 by 50, and it's also I'm getting pictures ready because I do have another show coming up a week from Friday, the 23rd of May, from 5 to 7 p.m. And this will be at Capitol Cellars in Granite Bay. Now, this isn't one of those things that you can just show up to, but if you're interested in going to that, again, it's Friday the 23rd. I'll have about 10 photos there, generally large photos like this one, 30 by 50 on metal, and a few smaller ones. But I'll put a link in the description to Capitol Cellars. And what you want to do is you want to call Marcus. Yeah, Marcus Graziano at Capitol Cellars. Call Marcus and get on the list, because it isn't. It's a relatively small space, but he does want to kind of make sure that he has enough room and all that sort of thing. So call Marcus, and I'll put a description in. But yeah, that's Firefall printed on metal. Yesterday, really interesting afternoon with those showers and thunderstorms in the Sierra that did come down the west slope. And some areas actually saw some pretty nice rain out of those. This is the last 24 hours. And as you can see, there are a few spots in here. That's Georgetown right there. So here's a 1/4 of an inch at Bald Mountain. Let's see if we got any of that down toward Placerville. Pollock Pines, just a couple of 100ths. Nothing registered in here, but there were some thunderstorms. I was in Cameron Park for a while yesterday afternoon, and there was some pretty good rain coming down into here. Nice thunderstorms, but generally on the west slope, we saw areas get anywhere between a few 100ths to as much as a 1/2 inch of rain. And today there probably won't be much in the way of activity in the Sierra. There are still some clouds this morning, however. As you can see here on the satellite, we have cloud cover on the crest of the Sierra and on the east side of the Sierra. The valley and the foothills are all clear. There's a little bit of marine layer on the coast, but not much. There's the Sutter Buttes right there. There's Folsom Lake. There's the American River. And then all the way down south throughout the valley, you can see that we do have clear skies. So it is going to be a good day and a warmer day than what we saw during the day yesterday. Now, there is one other thing I want to look at. It's really not related to Northern California weather, but on GOES. This is GOES 18. The new satellite back east is GOES 19. And this is actually from yesterday. And one thing I saw pop up in the news headlines is that Canadian wildfires have started again. So it is that time of the year, and you can see them here. I hope that pops right back up. Come on. And what we were seeing here is a lot of smoke. And remember how much this made headlines last year with that smoke drifting down into the northeast. Come on, come back. And yesterday afternoon, we were also seeing here it comes. We were seeing these pyrocumulus clouds here, as you can see right in there. Those are big pyrocumulus clouds, but you can tell this is smoke just because of the color of it. And because it just stays stationary. So there's a fire here, and here's all the smoke coming off of it. We're quite familiar with that, of course, in California. And then we have the big pyrocumulus coming off of that. So we'll have to see where this smoke trajectory goes. But I also saw that over in British Columbia, there are also some smaller fires that are burning. But here's Minnesota. So this is just north of Minnesota. We are seeing more fires burning again, and I wasn't able to find much information about these, how big they are, what's caused them, etc. But that is something that may be making headlines if we start getting a trajectory from the north or from the northwest going into the northeastern part of the country. For Northern California, here's the way we stand right now. Let me make sure I back this up to the beginning. I am. Okay. All right, so here's where we stand right now. We have this little trough that went by yesterday now kicking out to the east, and with some slight ridging behind it, we have north flow, dry flow, and a warmer day. Both today Thursday and Friday will be sunny, mild, generally light winds. Temperatures reaching the low 80s, nothing too much hotter than that. And low 80s is only a little bit above average. Really no big deal there. Then as we head into the weekend, another little trough comes our way. This should be Friday afternoon. Yeah, this is actually a Friday night. This next trough comes our way, and this will usher in a cool down for the weekend. So temperatures in the low 80s or so the next couple of days. And then by the weekend, we cool back down into the 70s, and that trough sticks around into the day on Sunday. And with this sort of flow, we'll also see north winds pick up, and we'll see north winds into early next week with this sort of pattern. Especially Monday, it would be a cool day. But beyond that, the rest of next week with this ridging moving in, looks as though it is going to be warmer, with perhaps temperatures getting back into the 90s next week. So nothing in the way of 90s this week, but next week it does look as though we could get back into the 90s. So what about precip? What about the chances of some rain as that trough goes by? Well, let's look at the GFS. Here's a little weather system going by to our north. Doesn't do anything for us. We do stay sunny, mild. There's an onshore breeze picking up here. This is Friday night. So Friday will be a warm day, but then we'll see cooling as we head into the day Saturday. Combination of cooler air coming in as well as the onshore breeze will drop temperatures from Friday to Saturday. But Saturday's still a pretty nice day. But as we head into the afternoon and evening, this is Saturday midday. And this is Saturday late afternoon. Mountain showers likely. And some snow way up the hill. But if you are planning on spending a weekend around Tahoe or Truckee, we may be finding some more unsettled weather, as you can see here, and then especially into the day on Sunday. Let's see what time frame. This is Sunday midday. So you see a lot of blue here indicating snow, and it is going to get cold enough for snow, but let's go ahead and take a look at what the 850 millibar temperatures are. The temperatures at 5,000 feet. At that time, they are, let's see, come on. They're in the 30s. So at 5,000 feet, we're in the mid-30s, which means that at this time of year, we could see some slushy snow on the summit, kind of like we saw the other day. Maybe a couple of inches of snow at elevations above 6,000 feet, and maybe even that rain-snow mix down to 5,500 feet, something like that. But with these kind of temperatures in midday on Sunday in the mid-30s, for the valley and the foothills where it's likely going to be dry, it'll still be a very cool day with temperatures only in the low 70s. Then, actually, I'll just continue with this frame just to show you how the north wind picks up. Now, somebody was asking about this yesterday, about these wind barbs. And I'll actually take a second to, this is a good illustration of it. So wind barbs, I apologize for not remembering the name in the comment section, but somebody's asking about these wind barbs. So these point into the wind. So the wind is going in this direction, and the little lines on these indicate the wind speed. So let's take this one right here. There's a long barb, and then underneath it there's a short barb. This one right here. The long ones equal 10 knots. The short ones are 5, so that would be 15 knots right there. This one right next to it has 2 long ones, which means it would be 20. And then you get into these down here that have more of a little pennant. That is 50. So that's how you read these. And again, they point into the wind, so the wind is going in this direction. And for all you aviation buffs, I'm sure you know all about the wind direction and how to read a weather map, but for the direction you take off and land, etc. All right, let's go back to the precip. Back to precip type. And here is that snow that we could see in the Sierra on Sunday. This is Sunday afternoon. All of that dries up as we head into Sunday night. And then Monday, we have a classic north gradient here, but it is dry. And then next week will be dry with a warming trend, with temperatures likely getting back into the 90s, but nothing in the way of 90s coming our way anytime soon. So for the weekend, yeah, in the Sierra, it is going to be rather changeable once again. And so for those of you that are planning on spending your weekend around Tahoe, it's going to be chilly once again. And on Sunday especially, we could see some snow showers and maybe even some slushy snow. But for the valley, it looks like there's going to be dry, but not as warm as what we'll see for the next couple of days. That's everything I've got for you on this Wednesday morning. Make it a great day. I'll talk with you later.